live in Western Oregon. This is NBC 16 News at 5.
I want to report today that Lane County Public Health was notified of a positive test on a person for COVID-19. This is the first positive test in Lane County.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for NBC 16 at 5. I'm Jacqueline Mazer. Health officials say the patient is a 69-year-old man who lives in a private residence. The man began to feel symptoms of fever, body aches, chills, and a light cough on March 1st. His test was taken on March 13th, and health officials believe this case was community spread. The patient is stable at home following doctors' recommendations. People who had contact with him will be interviewed by Lane County Public Health. We will continue to follow this case as more information becomes available. The number of coronavirus cases in Oregon has now climbed to 66, including 1 death in Multnomah County. Around the Lane County area, there are 15 cases in Lynn County, 6 in Deschutes County, 2 in Benton County, 1 in Douglas County, and now 1 in Lane County. Coos County remains virus-free. Well, both Lane County and the city of Eugene have joined other cities and counties across the state declaring an emergency in response to the coronavirus. Lane County commissioners voted unanimously in favor of allocating $750,000 for response funding. County officials say the money will be used for supplies, personal protective equipment for caregivers, services for the vulnerable population, such as the new temporary dawn-to-dawn program for the unhoused, among other services.
I can't understate the fact that we, as a board, are governing a county in the era of a pandemic.
Lane County is urging businesses to track losses so they can be reimbursed if our area is eligible for disaster funds. Both Eugene and the county are working to keep the homeless population healthy. Officials say they're planning to help those who are out of work due to the mandatory closures, but assistance will most likely come at the state level. The city of Springfield also declared a state of emergency. The decision was made unanimously by the city council. This allows the city to be reimbursed by the federal government for what they spend to battle the virus. Mayor Christine Lundberg says the city has been coordinating its needs with Governor Kate Brown and mayors of other cities.
The public should have as much confidence as they possibly can have in an ever-changing scenario that we're trying our very, very best to be able to address the needs of every single person.
A total of $100,000 was unanimously approved by the council to be allocated towards addressing the coronavirus. Douglas County commissioners declared a state of emergency in the wake of the coronavirus. The board ratified the decision Monday after it was announced the county's 1 reported case was community spread. Their message to citizens is to stay calm and continue living their daily lives.
It doesn't change any impacts on the citizens of Douglas County, except that it allows county government to respond more quickly if needed.
The state of emergency will remain in place until the board decides it is no longer necessary. The federal government announced a multi-billion-dollar economic stimulus bill aimed at getting money to Americans who need it most. This as cities and states continue to cancel public gatherings to avoid possibly transmitting more cases of the coronavirus. Sarah Dolph has the story.
As efforts to slow the spread of COVID-19 force the economy to a near standstill, President Trump proposing an $850 billion bailout to get cash to Americans and industries before the worst of the virus hits.
With this invisible enemy, we don't want airlines going out of business. We don't want people losing their jobs or not having money to live.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin saying he's working with Congress to get emergency checks to citizens and allowing them to defer tax payments until July.
This is no fault to American workers. For medical reasons, we are shutting down parts of this economy, and we're going to use all the tools we have, as I've said, and what tools we don't have, we're going back to Congress.
The Senate's top Republican vowing swift action.
We're going to take up and pass the House bill. Then Senate Republicans, in conjunction with the administration, are going to write a next bill.
The federal government hoping the funds will encourage people to stay home.
We are looking to save the maximum number of lives. Everything else is going to come back.
We can't do this without the young people cooperating. Please cooperate with us.
And as hospitals gear up for an influx of patients, the administration is vowing the military will be there to help beef up their ability to deal with patients.
What you all would understand as field hospitals or MASH hospitals that can be deployed very quickly.
From Rochester, New York to Birmingham, Alabama, massive lines of cars as people wait for drive-through testing as new sites pop up across the country. Public outings that are getting more and more rare in communities suddenly facing extended quarantines. Sarah Dolph.
Here in Oregon, Congressman Peter DeFazio is weighing options to lessen the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic. DeFazio says transit and transportation companies are in a tight pinch, with some airlines reporting being in dire straits due to a loss of business. DeFazio says any bailout package would have to go to employees and not the pockets of company executives.
We condition the money up front legally. No dividends, no stock buybacks, no executive bonuses. We cap the pay levels to which this assistance could go. Put in provisions that after, if they, within 2 years of accepting that money, they declare bankruptcy and try and take away pensions again or stock options from employees, we're going to claw the money back.
DeFazio says a host of other sectors will need help, calling the situation, quote, unprecedented. DeFazio hopes Oregon moves fast on child care solutions with schools being closed, especially for healthcare workers who are under more strain.
Another sunny day all across western Oregon. On this St. Patty's Day, we managed to warm up into the low 60s for the southern Willamette Valley, closer to the 60-degree mark, Umpqua Valley, and out towards the coast, hanging out in towards the low 50s. But has your nose kind of been running or some itchy eyes? Well, the trees are on the higher end as far as the pollen count goes, and that will continue through Friday as the sunny and mild temperatures stick around, with a look over the Eugene area on this Tuesday. And you notice over the past several hours, clear conditions up and down the I-5 corridor. But clouds, they'll be pushing their way back in tonight, but that's good news. It's going to keep our overnight lows into the 40s, and the sunshine, it does break free once we move into the afternoon time frame tomorrow. But we do have a rain chance in our extended forecast. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Josh. Eugene Springfield area psychologists are seeing a demand for their services as people cope with the coronavirus pandemic. Psychologists say stress, anxiety, and depression are normal at this time. Clinical director Marian Stigler at the Elrod Center in Eugene says she's seeing clients not so stressed out over the virus, but about their finances.
A super high anxiety level about losing their home, not being able to pay their mortgage. Many of them are small business owners like myself.
Boredom, having events canceled that they're really looking forward to, so that kind of brings on some sense of grief and loss.
Scott says people under stress need to connect with others via phone or video calls, get outside and exercise, and check in with other people at higher risk of illness or depression. With closures taking place all over the state due to the coronavirus, one South Coast daycare center is doing the opposite. Right Beginning Learning Center is a child care center normally for Bay Area hospital employees only, but Director Heather Curtis says these tough times have prompted them to expand their care. For the time being, that is, they will be opening up their care center to any community member who needs the support.
We do have some Coast Guard families that need emergency care, that they're doing longer shifts, or their facilities are closed down that they go to normally.
The center is taking precautions like requiring hand washing upon arrival, asking questions about your health, and having those who feel any sickness to stay in the lobby and wear a mask. One parent says he would rather have his child there than at home.
Bright Beginnings has such high standards here. They've run us through their protocol. They've run us through what they do to keep us healthy. They screen everybody who comes in, and we feel very comfortable letting our kids still come here, and our kids get the social interaction they need.
Roth also says, although he is worried like any other parent, he likes that he can keep his children in their normal routine. They have a capacity for 100 kids, although spots are first given to hospital employees. The rate for a day drop-off ranges from $32 to $42. Now, for the latest on the coronavirus, make sure to visit our website at NBC16.com, visit Facebook.com/KMTR News, or download the KMTR News app on your phone. We will have more coverage on the coronavirus throughout the newscast.